This is the cheapest roast money can buy. It is called an eye round. The reason it's cheap is because it's a working muscle and it's not tender whatsoever. Now in order to transform this to $1 steaks, the first thing we need to do is to trim it. As you can see, it comes with a lot of silver skin and unwanted fat. So I like to go ahead and remove all of the stuff we do not like. Once I was done, this is what it looks like. Even though I remove most of the fat, we always gotta leave a little bit in. And that is for good reason, because once I remove the point and I take a cut of my very first steak, take a look at this. And that is why we call this the $1 steak. Let's just say it is as bad as it gets. But my goal is to transform this steak into something incredible. And I've actually been doing quite a few researches in order to make that happen. To say that I'm obsessed about it is an understatement. I've even inserted $100 worth of Wagyu fat in it. And if you have not seen that video, you should check it out. I've also tried tenderizing it with many different things. Mechanical tenderizing? Yes, you got it, I've done that. Using the enzymes to tenderize the meat? Oh yeah, I have done that as well. And even though the results were not that great, the winner of all of them was always the pineapple. You see, pineapple has something that it's called bromelain. And what that does is that it breaks down the fibers of the meat, making it extremely tender. We went even as far as to see if it will completely disintegrate a steak, and let me tell you something, it did. But with all that being said, I have heard that a 3 Michelin star chef has been using sparkling water. Supposedly this makes the steak as tender as possible, even beating enzymes from fruits and everything else. Now does this work? Well, we're gonna find out right now. So after choosing 3 steaks for our experiment, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and pour the sparkling water on the steaks. And I mean, I was not cheap doing so. I added the whole thing. And what's incredible to watch is that the sparkling water seems to penetrate the meat. All these little bubbles, I don't know if it's doing something, but it looks extremely cool. Imagine being able to tenderize steaks with just sparkling water. Well, that will be wonderful if it works. From what I've heard, it only takes 1 hour to do so. Now there's nothing else to do but to throw them in the fridge. By the way, I went ahead and did the same exact thing to put it against our champion, which is the pineapple. We already know that letting steaks marinate in pineapple for an hour will definitely do the job. And I'll be putting this one against the sparkling water to see if it really works. Now the only thing left to do is to let this hang out on the fridge as well. That's perfect because it allows me time to go ahead and make an awesome side dish to go along with these steaks. And this one is from Argentina. I mean, take a look at this. The first thing to do was to go ahead and cook the fries. And for that, I'd just like to use the frozen pre-made ones. It makes the job a lot faster, and at least to me, there's no difference in taste. Putting them on my oven and baking it at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes does the job. But now for the toppings. I started with a good amount of butter into the pan. Threw in a little bit of onions and cooked them until they were fully caramelized. Going nice and slow is the way to go. If needed, always remember to deglaze the pan with a little bit of water, because once you're done, you should be left with something like this. This is nice and sweet and perfect for our fries. The next thing to do is to add some type of protein. Since I had Spam laying around, I went ahead and threw into the skillet. Just fry them up for a little bit until I get a nice color. Now I don't know if you know, Spam is quite salty, so make sure to back off on the salt a little bit with all of the other ingredients. Talking about that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and make some scrambled eggs. So into a non-stick skillet, I threw in all of my beaten eggs, followed by the Spam and of course the caramelized onions. I mixed it well and cooked it until it was fully cooked. Once that was done, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and plate it all up. So I first started with the fries, followed by the scrambled egg mix we just made, a little bit of extra cooked Spam, then I finished it off with a good amount of Parmesan cheese and a little sprinkle of parsley. Now that is what I'm talking about. It is absolutely delicious. I mean, we all know steak and fries are the best. We also know that eggs and steaks are also the best. So you get the best of both worlds. But now that we have our side dish ready, our steaks should be fully marinated. And after 1 hour, I took it out of the fridge, give it a nice rinse to make sure I removed all of the pineapple that was left behind. And once I was done, take a look at this. It lost its red color. That is totally normal, and every time I've used pineapple to tenderize steaks, this happens. But now let's move into the sparkling water steak. And after exactly 1 hour also, this is what it looks like. Check out the color of the water. But most importantly, is it tender? As I removed it from the water, it almost looks identical to the pineapple steak. I mean, is it the same? It sure looks like it. When I picked it up with my hand, oh wow! The fibers are completely separating. It also feels extremely tender on the hand. That is insane. I can't believe that this was just sparkling water. The fibers are completely separating apart. That got me super excited. But now the most important thing is how will we pair up with the other two? As you can see, I have the control steak, which looks beautiful. The sparkling water right in the middle looks totally white. And the pineapple, oh well, let's just say I know it does its job. The only thing left to do is to go ahead and season them. And for that, I kept it very simple. A little bit of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder, nothing else. I really want to know the flavor of these steaks. And keeping the seasoning simple will make sure I get there. But now that I got them all fully seasoned, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. And the first thing to do is to put a nice beautiful sear with some butter. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook them. So let's do it. All right, everybody, here we have our beautiful steaks and a nice side dish. Are you ready, Angel?
Side dish looks amazing, but I don't know, when you have 3 separated steaks, they're not on a board, they're separated.
See, that's what happens. He's been with me in a while. He knows there's 3 different steaks. He knows something is up, and you're right. Something is up.
I'm excited for at least one of them.
One of them is going to be good?
One of them.
We're going to find out which one is good. So,
something has to work.
We're testing tenderness. That's what we're testing. Oh. All right. So I want to know which one is more tender. All right. So let's try the first one right here. I see you cutting it already. How tender is it?
It's whatever.
Not that tender.
Not by the cut.
Not by the cut. Oh boy. This is already starting to be a great experiment. Are you ready?
Oh God.
Cheers, everybody.
Tastes good though.
Tastes good, but
it's good. Not the most tender steak.
No. Is it like a shoe leather or something, or so?
Tampoco, like, it's not that crazy. It's not like insane bad, but pretty not tender.
It's pretty chewy. Yeah. It is. Oh man, I'm still chewing it. It's like.
But the flavor is nice.
It has a nice flavor because it's a nice working muscle. You know what the kind of steak this is already. What is it? You tell me. I know you know. Come on. Oh my God, that was all for the chewing? That was how hard it was to swallow it? Check it out, everybody. That's a repeat right there. You were like,
I had to get it down, dude.
But I'm still chewing. I would give it a rating of 0 on the tenderness.
No, yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right, so let's go ahead and try the side dish to cleanse our pans.
The palate.
Correct. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I mean, it's potato, eggs, a little bit of ham, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. It's amazing. What do you think, Angel?
That's a winner.
Yeah, it's a nice combination for the steak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very nice.
Side dish, phenomenal.
Dude.
I am curious to find out how this one is. Oh.
Okay.
Huh? What happened there?
That was a good one.
There was just one slice?
That was a little bit better than the last one. I'm not gonna lie, the last one was a little bit harder to cut.
That one you had to sew a little bit.
This one I went, ooh,
yeah,
whang, that's it.
Yes.
The last one I was like,
exactly. All right, let's give this one a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Oh, that's way softer. This is a pineapple right here.
He knows about the pineapple. You ate it all already, dude. Damn, man. I think the thing is that we did so many experiments with pineapple already. You know already by heart without even having to do anything. However, let me be very, very clear. It is nice and tender more than this one, but by no means is this a ribeye steak, everybody. It's just a more pleasant tenderness. Agree? Are you still chewing? So how did you know how to recognize that steak right away like that, huh?
The pineapple, when you do it, it has a
unique flavor.
It has a little flavor to it that you can kind of like detect.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it leaves the steak like feeling a certain way.
Yeah. I'm excited to find out how this one is gonna taste. At the same time, I want to know about the tenderness, taste, and everything. This third one right here, ooh, we're gonna find out right now. Are you ready? I'm excited.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Tastes like something.
Tastes different, but at the same time, I enjoy that.
Okay, the tenderness is a little bit soft.
Yeah. I
Soft,
think
like
it's actually more tender
okay,
than the pineapple.
This is the control, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so it's definitely more soft than the control by a long shot, like a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're going off of, does it work? Yeah, it works.
It works as in regards to tenderness.
But it's like, it makes the pepper taste stronger.
Really? So it like enhances the flavor?
Of the pepper,
Yeah,
I felt the pepper big time.
You felt the pepper big time? Try another slice. Try another slice.
A little tiny slice.
I will tell you one thing. This steak right here, surprisingly, is more tender than the pineapple to me. I mean, if we're talking about slightly difference, everybody, not that huge of a difference.
It's like we're being very picky.
Yeah, and
very picky with very tough cuts.
Correct. So, to be clear, the pineapple gives a wonderful flavor that Angel enjoys it. This one here does have a different, unique flavor, but at the same time, if we are just talking about tenderness, it does feel more tender. I'm very shocked that it actually worked as good as the pineapple. By the way, I just put sparkling water over here. That's it. It's just sparkling water. So to answer the question, does the sparkling water actually work?
It works.
Yes, it does. It does work, and it does leave your steak a little bit more tender, and at the same time,
it leaves you with a little bit of a pepper aftertaste.
I think what happened was because I used a sparkling water that was lime. It wasn't just like a plain taste. So I use a lime sparkling water. That could be something as well.
But lime has nothing to do with pepper.
I know, but I don't know. Maybe
like
it changed or something.
Is
the
like
paper,
green.
yeah, the paper is really.
No, not the paper. The
pepper.
pepper.
The pepper. That's what I mean.
Yeah, the pepper.
You got it right, but that's what I mean. The pepper is a little bit more stronger. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything's always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And yes, the sparkling water,
it works.
It works. See you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.